Darn OBS because we do no editing. This is a hot take you might want to hear, and people are gonna probably like me because of it. I hate to do this. Um, yeah. So a lot of people like a lot of franchises, and I'm big into franchises, but there are some that are like Transformers, Fast and the Furious, that some are good, some are bad. I don't know, Fast and Furious is a little hard there. But, sometimes you're entertained, but they're not really good. But then there's epics, right? There's like Star Wars, Harry Potter, um, I don't know. But the one I'm going to talk about is Lord of the Rings. Um, yeah, it's funny. The guys that I've been piggybacking off a lot of, they always do have it as Super Sharpie, but it's the Escape podcast. I always say Clips. It's Escape podcast. They're going to talk about Lord of the Rings, and I'll give my little 2 cents in. Whoops, wrong thing. What is going on here?
Not a big Lord of the Rings guy?
No, to be honest with you, I watched Lord of the Rings for the first time recently.
Yep.
And I just wasn't that.
It's whatever.
It's whatever.
It's whatever.
I was like, I'm not really getting.
I think number one, you had to be there to be a fan of it when it came out. You figure most people that liked Lord of the Rings and read the books and stuff were just a different breed of people. They're just different. You got to be really dedicated to follow Lord of the Rings, and it's not like Game of Thrones where it's like sex and graphic and violent, and it wasn't like pure entertainment in a book. It's pretty slow progressing book. I've only seen pieces of it. I haven't read the whole book. But I did jump in with them, and I watched them in theaters when they came out, and I didn't care. I went to each one hoping to get better, and I don't care what you tell me how good the acting is or whatever. I don't care. Elijah Wood as Mr. Frodo. Okay. I guess anyone that I would give it to is Golem. Why can't I think of his name? I'm so bad at this. Every time I'm on here, I can never think of people's freaking names, man. I want to call him Steve something. He's not Steve Solom. Something. But at least record these like I'm live. But I would give it to him pretty much. Because that's the only real performance for me. Andy Serkis. He's really motion capture like God. He's so good. And he's good, man. He has Claw in Civil War. And I mean, he's in Black Panther, but Civil War, his talk about the fish, oh my God. He's just so good in that little scene. He's just a good actor. But yeah, Golem was probably the best thing out of it. And it's just, they're not that great of films. And people are going to hate me for that. People probably obsess over these, love these, probably have framed pictures of the posters, like how I have Marvel movies and the Dark Knight posters and, Ninja Turtle posters and all that kind of stuff. And I just hate it. It's something that I don't like to get into much because people want to really sell you on it, but I just can't buy it. I can't buy it. They try to sell it to me a lot. I've been there. I tasted the product. I got I at least got to see all of them. The third one, I was embarrassed at the end how dumb it felt. It felt so weird with them all jumping on Elijah Wood in the bed. And I'm open to everyone's lifestyle, by the way. That's not what I'm getting at. It just was weird. I think in Clerks 2, Randall sums it up pretty well how the Lord of the Rings feel. Where he talks about there's only one return of, and it's of the Jedi, not of the King. And I believe that. It's a huge production. Credit goes to cinematographers, set makers, and all, people planning out the sites to use and things like that. But it's just a particular type of crowd I feel like falls into it that love it. The almost like the Renaissance Fair type of vibe, but I think I'd mess around with the Renaissance Fair. It's just different. I don't know, because I like this kind of stuff. I love Willow. People probably be like, "Oh, you love Willow? Willow sucks." George Lucas was behind it. Willow was just fun, really, really fun. I guess maybe because there's more magic maybe in it. I don't know. It was a cool thing. But I like that kind of stuff. Remember when Dungeons and Dragons tried to make a movie? Oh my god, my ex-girlfriend made me go to the theaters and see that with Marlon Wayans in it. Oh my god, that was so bad. That doesn't compare to Lord of the Rings. I'll give you that much. But yeah, it's just I like things like that. Like Game of Thrones, I love it. May not like the ending going into it, but I think he talks a little bit about that. I'll comment a little bit on that.
Like, especially after somebody who, I didn't grow up with Lord of the Rings. The first, like, real big medieval thing like that I had watched was Game of Thrones. But I look at Lord of the Rings similarly to how I look, this is also a crazy hot take, but I look at them the same way that I look at Blink-182, where I respect what they did. They paved the path for music to be, but like, I don't listen. I've never really been all the way in on Blink-182.
I don't get his comparison. I guess he might be playing in a band or something. I don't. Blink-182 is awesome. I like Blink-182, but that was during my time too. Around the same time Lord of the Rings came out. But I think you also got to remember Lord of the Rings. He's like, it wasn't, when he watched it was so much later, and it wasn't like, oh, it came out before me kind of thing. But you have to remember the book's been out forever. So there's fans from back in the days, man. I know people that were waiting forever. Older people that were like, yes. I think that's part of it too, is just being excited to see your fandom finally there, and all your characters come to life. I'll never forget that with the X-Men, loving Wolverine so much. But if you watch X-Men 1, it did not age well at all. It did not do well. But we're spoiled. I always say that we're spoiled because we get so much good stuff now. But yeah, it's just, I guess he's maybe a singer, and that's why he compared it to Blink-182. And I guess that's kind of a way to put it. They paved the way. I don't know how much they paved the way. I wouldn't say if it wasn't for their trilogy, we wouldn't have Endgame or stuff like that, because their layout is almost similar, where it's like these big wars and big fighting. And I think the second one I liked, I think the most back then, but I literally put him on the shelf and have had no desire to watch him. And I think what screws him up more is he saw Game of Thrones before he watched Lord of the Rings. So you're watching like diet Game of Thrones when you're watching Lord of the Rings. And I'm sorry to anyone that follows Lord of the Rings from the books and are in love with it. Game of Thrones is peak storytelling, going from the books and to the show. Peak storytelling. And to go from that and then go watch Lord of the Rings, and it's like soft compared to, granted there's action and all that kind of stuff, but it's soft compared to watching Game of Thrones. Let's be real. Game of Thrones, you're getting all kinds of stuff thrown at you. And it's crazy. And it got so jumbled, it kind of messed it up, I think, in a way at the end. But there is a lot of good in there, and I think that messes it up. For you to never watch Lord of the Rings, and then to watch Game of Thrones first, then watch Lord of the Rings, you're not going to like it at all. I have pretty valid reasons why I don't like it. It's just not my cup of tea. No actors in it really did it for me. None of them I follow and hope they're in another movie. Hugo Weaving is in it, and he was Red Skull. I could give two shits about him being Red Skull. I thought he wasn't even great as Red Skull, to be honest with you, and I hated his attitude after playing Red Skull. And I mean, the best out of it is Ian McKellen. Ian McKellen's always awesome. Maybe that's being like, oh, he's good Magneto. He's a great Magneto. But, I mean, I think as far as what they wanted from Gandalf, he did it. But, I mean, it's Ian McKellen, man. He's just God tier. I mean, Viggo Mortensen's decent, But as far as all the other guys, like the Hobbits, man, man, I feel bad because I know there's a whole community that's like, you gotta be kidding me. It's Lord of the Rings. It's amazing. Screw DC and Marvel. I don't know. But, yeah, I just couldn't get behind it. Like I said, I was there, theaters for each one. So you can't hold it against me like, oh, you never watched it. You probably watched it after it came out. No, I was there for release weeks. I was just hoping it was going to get better. And I think the second one I thought was a little better. And the third one, it just bored me all over again. And the endings were just like, I think I remember thinking like, okay, is it over now? And then like, wait, no, they're doing something else. Is it over now? And like, wait, they're doing something else. And I was just like, oh my God. And I just got bored. So bored. I think I was like even like fighting falling asleep. I feel bad because I know there's a whole room of some guy that has nothing but Lord of the Rings and his precious on like a shelf, just like I would have. Like I have Mando and Red Ranger helmet above me. Like they probably have their precious ring in front of them, and I feel bad because I don't want to shit on your movie. It's just not for me. I'll never follow it. Really, I'm not asking for it to be. I played Magic the Gathering and they made a Lord of the Rings set, which was really weird. They made good cards out of it. They had cool abilities, but I didn't care about the aesthetics of, oh, I can't wait to play as Golem or something like that. They're coming out with the Hobbit one, but they're coming out with Star Trek. People are hating Magic the Gathering right now because they're going into so many different IPs. But I don't care. As long as they play like Magic still, I don't care. But there's people that have been hardcore into Magic back in the day, and they don't want to see it touched, and I get that too. I understand having an argument about that. But yeah, so there's going to be Hobbit coming out. So, I mean, it's still out there. It's still relevant to things. But just not my cup of tea. And unfortunately, it sucks because I want to be on board with a lot of this geeky stuff.
I thought I would get through one round.
Which is crazy because, like, I kind of make the music that they... But I don't know. I just never... I never really was in... I was more boys like girls, like, Fall Out Boy and stuff.
Whack.
Okay. Sorry, brother.
We've never had a guest to like Lord of the Rings.
That is weird that we have continued the streak of having guests that either haven't seen or don't give an F about.
That is a...
I think people should at least give it a try. It's a lot to try on, but at least give it a try. But I think at this point, if they haven't seen it yet, they're not going to like it when they see it now. I don't think it... I think I'm wrong. Go ahead and think I'm wrong. But I believe if you haven't seen it yet and you watch it now, you're not going to be blown away as the people that got to watch it and enjoyed it when it came out. Because it was different. It was this big epic thing, you know, that we saw forever and ever, everywhere. And people loved it. It just doesn't have the same marketability of, like... Even Fast and the Furious. Fast and the Furious, they're not great. They're not good. They have a franchise. They're not based off some awesome books. They're just... They got lucky with one good movie, really. And then they just started making a bunch because they could make money. But the marketability of it, you get bros, you get these college age... you get people that like old cars, and it turns into espionage, and it turns into a thriller, and it's just all kinds of weird stuff that you can market. With Lord of the Rings, it's such a tight bubble that you can only market so much into it. It's not like a Star Wars where it's a whole new world we're creating. This is a whole new world, but it's pretty grounded. It's all like stuff you see before: wizards and swords and horses, and sure, hobbits and orcs, cool. But this is a lot different than things that are being like created like Star Wars did, you know. They created their own species and transportation, and it was just different. So I think that's what kind of lacked is the appeal to bigger crowds that weren't just Lord of the Rings fans. The casual moviegoer, I think, would see it, but wouldn't hold it to such a high standard. Lord of the Rings fan would hold it really high. For me, I wasn't like a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I wasn't like, I can't wait till the movie comes out, but I was like, dude, I'm gonna check these out. They look pretty epic. Just didn't care. At the end of the day, I didn't care. Do I ever want to watch them again? Probably not. If my son wants to watch them, I'll gladly put them on. He has no urge to watch them. Not his little cup of tea. People probably think I'm crazy. I thought the Willow Netflix show wasn't that bad. But I have a soft spot for Willow. I thought they were doing interesting things with it, but that might throw my logic out the window. You might be like, oh, he kind of likes the Willow Netflix show. Yeah, this guy has no opinion. He can't like Lord of the Rings at all or dislike it. So that might be your take where you can get me out of this conversation. But yeah, I do like things like that where it's like elves and, you know, orcs and weird things like that. But it's just not for me. And again, watching Game of Thrones before it and seeing this, you're going to compare the two no matter what. You're going to compare the two. Even though there's no elves in Game of Thrones, I don't think. It's just beyond peak writing. And I'm sorry to, you know, token. It's like, I think it's way better written. But that's me. People are going to probably hate me for that, but who knows? People may not even watch this. Like, I don't get people to watch it, but I want you to watch. You're there. You're watching it, and you're mad. I don't like Lord of the Rings, and that's fine, because you don't like, I don't know, Captain Marvel. I like Captain Marvel. Everyone thinks I'm crazy. I have a huge argument for it, but I like it. And you can argue with me about how much Lord of the Rings is cool, but I'm just not going to buy it. Just like you probably won't buy me trying to convince you about Captain Marvel. So that's it. Turning off OBS because we do not edit, and I will talk to you guys later.